Let us for a few moments focus our mind on the Divine Master and pray for the well-being of the whole humanity. Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. In last 2-3 classes we have been discussing in depth about the Ramakrishna ideal. Today I am concluding that topic and take up another topic which is very useful for us. Sri Ramakrishna, how he had a message for the whole universe. The incarnation has got some features, and one of the features is his message is universal. And secondly, he gives out divine love. Whoever comes is drawn towards him. No one is barred from coming. So, infinite compassion and infinite love. So, the incarnation comes to fulfill the aspirations of the people of the age. Every time things are to be adjusted and readjusted according to the circumstance and surroundings. People keep on changing their attitude. So, it is very important for the divine power to descend to human level, to give hope to all the aspirants. And Sri Ramakrishna has come integrating all the religions of the world. Every religion is considered a path, and every path is leading to the center. And Sri Ramakrishna himself practiced the major religions of the world and concluded very nicely that no one need have any conflict in the religion which everyone follows according to one's own taste. You are free to choose any religion you want to according to your temperament and suitability. You are sure to reach the goal. What is needed most is spiritual practice in all earnestness. So, all these features have been dealt with in great detail in last 3-4 classes. Another important point which we should remember in this context is it is difficult for the people in general to turn to God unless they are attracted to an adorable divine form. So to convert human love into divine love, a divine focus is necessary, and the incarnation serves this function. Since the living conditions and standards of human society keep on changing, ancient divine images become inadequate to attract people of a later age. Because we see many people visiting holy places and going to different temples. And in fact, I had been to India in the month of January. I visited most famous shrines in India. And of course there are some section of people who are very devoted and very sincere about their visit to the temples. But majority of the people just keep running and just the places are being used like tourist spots. Just they came and admired the architecture and this, that, etc. They don't think that is the temple. They should sit there, think of the divine for a few minutes, offer your prayers silently, and then go. Nobody does like that. They rush into the temple. With the same speed, they rush back to the bus or train, whatever it is you may call. But there are some section. There will be always some serious people who definitely go with the idea of getting communicated towards the divine. So that means something more is required to draw these people towards spirituality. In this respect, a new incarnation provides a new focus. He provides a new orientation to our ways and means, to our life as such. Because he is available in the human form And his teachings, his life will be a source of tremendous inspiration to the spiritual aspirants who are struggling sincerely. Well, an adorable form alone is not enough to attract people to God. They need divine stories, the divine play. They have to witness that drama. Then only it has tremendous impact on their life. So the sport of one particular age becomes inadequate in a subsequent age. With the birth of a new incarnation starts a new sport. You are witnessing a new game, as it were, fresh. And you'll be all interested to see, what is that? Something new. So, through his Leela, the incarnation teaches people how to put into practice the new ideals of the age he himself has developed. The incarnation is a great lover of mankind. Though the great prophets of the world have in common the characteristics and functions, each one of them is a unique and special manifestation of the divine. You can find a special quality manifesting in an incarnation. That is, what is most striking is the way how the divine incarnation draws people towards him through a wonderful power of love. It's divine love. What does it mean? The divine love is such, it doesn't expect anything from anybody. It just loves to love. That is very tremendous. I love to give all the time. Do everything for helping the humanity, not expecting a trace of anything from the people. And whoever comes in contact with such a person, he is bound to be attracted towards this divine love. And how true it is. How true it is. I could reveal my own little experience. Because we could not see the great incarnation, Sri Ramakrishna. But I had the opportunity to see the Swamis who are disciples of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. And I was amazed and stunned to see the power of divine love, how it influences in a remarkable way. So, to give my own little experience is that On my first visit to Bangalore ashram, as a student, not studying any literature about religion, just a college guy. But I had gone, first time I saw Yatishwaranandaji, the author of Meditation and Spiritual Life. On the very first day I was drawn by his love. Not knowing him at all, but he talked with so much love and affection. And even mother's love is nothing compared to the spiritual love. And the way he talked, and the way he blessed, the way he said, on the very first day of my visit, he told me you have to join the Ramakrishna mission. Then he told, you go and complete your education. Be coming to the ashram every day. That's all he said. But he sowed the seed of spiritual life into my heart when I was still young, college guy, not knowing anything about religion. That is divine. And how much more it should have been with respect to incarnation. You can imagine. So, what I want to tell you is, ordinary people can love only a few people sincerely. The rest of human life is all mere show. Just an outward show. But so vast and deep is the love of the incarnation that it can't be satisfied even by the love of thousands of people. It is this pure and eternal love of the incarnation that draws millions of people towards him. Now, if you make a reverent study of the life of Sri Ramakrishna and meditate upon him with devotion, you will understand how all the characteristics we discussed in last 3-4 classes have been fulfilled in this unique personality and life. So, what is the uniqueness we find in Sri Ramakrishna? The most obvious is its modernity and authenticity. See, he lived the life just like an average person brought up in the village situation, condition. The events of his life are not lost in the haze of legend and history, but have been meticulously recorded. Another unique feature is his message of all-round harmony. But the most distinctive feature of his personality is that it embodied the spiritual consciousness of all other incarnations. Rama, Krishna, Lord Christ, they were all being absorbed in him. So when we do worship of Sri Ramakrishna, we use the mantra Om Aim Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. That is Sri Ramakrishna. Who is Sri Ramakrishna? the embodiment of all gods and goddesses. So, he is the personification of all the forms, divine forms. So great is the placidity of his divine mold that Sri Ramakrishna could appear as different gods and goddesses as he did to many of his disciples. He showed himself as Lord Shiva, showed himself as Mother Kali to the spiritual aspirants. And he still continues to do to the members of his far-flung spiritual family. To try to understand this unique phenomenon is to forget the limitations of the human mind. In Sri Ramakrishna, we see individual, universal, and divine dimensions. That is very unique. So the Ramakrishna ideal stands for the ideal man of the age, the world teacher, and the deity. It is this composite ideal that Swami Vivekananda has placed before mankind as its goal and way. Swami Vivekananda has written a letter to one of his monastic brothers. This letter was written in September 25, 1894. Swami Vivekananda, with deep humility and conviction, has invited the whole world to partake of the nectar of knowledge, bliss, and immortality that this Ramakrishna ideal stands for. Of course, in that letter, he has composed a poem, very beautiful. I am just giving you the English version of that poem. It says, that nectar which has been obtained by churning the infinite ocean of the Vedas, into which Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva and other gods have poured their strength, which is charged with the life essence of the incarnations. Gods incarnate on earth. Sri Ramakrishna holds that nectar in his person, in its fullest measure. Swami Vivekananda has expressed like this about Sri Ramakrishna. So he is inviting the whole mankind to have this nectar of knowledge, bliss and immortality. That is the most beautiful concept. And that concludes my topic, Ramakrishna ideal, which I had been discussing since 3-4 classes previously. Now the next topic which I would like to take, spiritual practice. Of course, you have heard about this subject in many, many ways. There are so many ways to understand this subject, and it is good to understand in as many ways as possible so that it gives you more and more clarification about what you are going to do and what you are going to achieve, etc. All these things are very helpful. Sri Ramakrishna himself has very emphatically said that one has to undergo spiritual practice in order to purify one's heart. In order to come closer to God, spiritual practice is essential. Then only you'll be able to be free from the clutches of the world. If you want to have the taste of the real peace and joy, you will have to come to spiritual life. That means you will have to practice spiritual disciplines. Everyone has his own spiritual path in the depths of his consciousness. It is embedded there. Everyone has it. But due to darkness of ignorance, most people don't recognize it. And instead, they begin to search for it outside, in books, in external practices. Whatever the different techniques and yogas you find described in the books, they are only classifications. They are only signposts. And one should not mistake them for the real path. The real path is within and has to be discovered first. You don't have to run anywhere. Swami Vivekananda says in the complete works, in one of the volumes, he says, no one is born to any religion. He has a religion in his own soul. Each life has a current running through it. And this current will eventually take it to God. In another place, Swami Vivekananda says, there are infinite ways of practicing yoga. When we say that everyone has his own path, what we mean is everyone has his own yoga. It is a living, a dynamic process of transformation of consciousness. Everyone's nature is unique, and so everyone's yoga is unique. It is something to be sought within himself through inner struggles and experience. During the Vedic period, everyone was taught to find out his own path within him. So, in what way they were guided? Each one was given the Gayatri, a simple prayer for the awakening of the power of intuition lying dormant in the soul. When through intensity of this prayer the power of intuition awakened, it revealed to him his own path, his own yoga in the depths of his consciousness. Now Hinduism places before mankind two modes of life. One is known as pravritti dharma, which aims at worldly enjoyment and material prosperity. The other one is called nivritti dharma, which aims at the highest good, which is liberation attained through renunciation. The Hindu lawgivers allow freedom to people to choose either of these ways of life, but point out the superiority of the nivritti way. Manu, the greatest lawmaker, he says, Pravritti is natural to human beings, but Nivritti produces great results. Sri Ramakrishna says in the Gospel, what is Nivritti? It is a Sanskrit word, very important word. Nivritti means inwardness of the mind. That is Nivritti. Pravritti means mind's inclination to outer enjoyment. We will have to understand clearly what is pravritti and what is nivritti. The popular notion is that pravritti means doing work, nivritti means not doing work. That is general notion of the people, but it is not correct. It is not correct. Work is of two types. One is bhogatmaka karma, that is work with attachment. The second one is tyagatmaka karma, that is work with detachment. Work with attachment belongs to pravritti, and work with detachment belongs to nivritti. The life of nivritti is not meant only for the monks. Don't think only monks should live that way, could live that life, not for others. No. It is also meant for those who want to realize God, but who cannot formally renounce worldly ties and obligations. The chief aim of nivritti dharma is to give up the desire for enjoyment and convert all life activities into a means of liberation. That's the point. All spiritual disciplines like meditation, japa, self-analysis, they're all done with this aim. Aim of realizing the truth, aim of getting liberation belongs to nivritti dharma. So also does nishkama karma, or work performed without any selfish desire. All those who seek liberation are followers of nivritti dharma, whether they are monks or householders. If you are seeking liberation, you are the follower of nivritti dharma. So, all those who seek worldly enjoyment, who always keep on hanging on the pleasures of the world, even if they have faith in God, even if they practice prayer and worship, they belong to the realm of pravritti. Because their aim is to get more pleasures. That's all. They worship God, they pray to Him. What for? Just to have more enjoyments, more pleasures, this, that. Just to want more toys for playing, to play. Higher type of toys, higher type of enjoyment he wants. He wants to enjoy in the heaven. Whenever you drive the mind in that direction, that means your mind is going outward. That means you are following pravritti. So, meditation done for the sake of relaxation of physical health, yoga practiced with a view to acquiring psychic powers, service rendered with the idea of getting name and fame, all these belong to pravritti. So, it depends upon what attitude you are having, That determines your way of life, whether pravritti or nivritti. Thus, the difference between pravritti and nivritti is a question of the aim or ideal sought. Before attempting to practice meditation and other spiritual disciplines, an aspirant must make a final choice between these two ideals. He can't have both. Nivritti dharma is what spiritual life really means. That means mind should be totally taken away from the outward things and be focused on the divine. There are two highways depending on the nature of the soul's orientation to reality. The nivritti mode of life has been divided into two highways. That one is Jnana Marga, the highway of knowledge. The other one is the highway of devotion, bhakti. Both Jnana and bhakti, they are all parts of the nivritti marga. There are a section of people who are called Mimamsakas, that is the word used in our Hindu philosophy. They are the followers of karma. They try to establish the performance of Vedic rituals as the independent way known as karma marga. Just as we say Jnana marga, bhakti marga, so this is also independent third highway. Like that they want to say. The earlier belief was that the purpose of divine Vedic rituals was the attainment of heavenly enjoyments. And therefore, the path belonged to the realm of pravritti and it was not considered a spiritual path. When you are offering worship, when you are doing rituals, etc., in order to get your benefit of getting into higher regions of enjoyment, that means it is pravritti. You can't call it as a spiritual way. However, later on, the famous Mimamsakas, the two scholars are there, Kumarila and Prabhakar, they tried to establish the possibility of attaining liberation through the mere performance of Vedic rituals. Just you perform. Unless and until all the seeds of past karma were worked out, liberation would not be attained. Till then, all that one should do was to perform Vedic rituals with complete detachment. Well, there are only two main margas, the ways to liberation, which I just mentioned before. One is Jnana Marga, the path of knowledge, and the other one is path of devotion. All spiritual disciplines fall under either of these two. These two ways are based on certain fundamental differences in the soul's orientation to reality. A spiritual aspirant must have a clear understanding of these differences and must choose that path which is in accord with his temperament. So temperament is very important. What temperament you have got, accordingly you must have the path. Not simply imitating, all are going that way, let me also go that way. No. If you have to reach the goal, you have to go in your own way. You have to follow your own orientation. That's the important point that you should know. There are significant differences between these two highways, Jnana Marga and Bhakti Marga, which is very important for us to know. As a spiritual aspirant, it is good to understand these things very clearly. In the path of Jnana, that is in the path of knowledge, the ultimate reality is regarded as impersonal. Whereas in the path of devotion, the highest reality is regarded as personal with or without a human form. Another difference is that the path of jnana, the path of knowledge, is subject oriented. It is essentially an inquiry into the true nature of the subject, the self. The path of devotion, on the other hand, is object oriented. See the difference? It is an attempt to realize the nature of God as the highest object. Thirdly, in the path of devotion, the main effort is to establish a loving relationship with God. This relationship between the soul and God is a direct person-to-person encounter. I-thou relationship. On the other hand, in the path of knowledge, the relation between the soul and the ultimate reality is more correctly described as I, that. Tattvamasi, those Mahavakyas are the famous statements in the Upanishads. And even this relation is illusory because what jnana establishes is not a relationship but an awareness of the identity of one's true nature. In the path of devotion, the soul does not remain satisfied with mere knowledge but wants to participate in God's sport. So, I-thou relationship is a form of participation rather than identity. A fourth difference between the two paths lies in the mode of realization followed. In the path of knowledge, self-effort is chiefly stressed. But in the path of devotion, divine grace is stressed more than the self-effort. We shall continue the same topic in the next Tuesday class. Page 604. Master said to the devotees, Shri Krishna has a peacock feather on his crest. The feather bears the sign of the female sex. The significance of this is that Krishna carries Prakriti, the female principle, on his head. When Krishna joined the circle of the gopis to dance with them, he appeared there as a woman. That's why you see him wearing women's apparel in the company of the gopis. Unless a man assumes the nature of a woman, he is not entitled to her company. Assuming the attitude of a woman, he can sport with her and enjoy her company. But a man must be extremely careful during the early stages of spiritual discipline. Then he must live far away from any woman. He must not go too close to one, even if she is a great devotee of God. You see, a man must not sway his body while climbing to the roof. He may fall. Weak people should hold on to a support while going up the stairs. But it is quite different when one reaches perfection after the realization of God. There is not much for a man to fear. He has become to a great extent secure. The important thing is for a man somehow to climb to the roof. After that he can even dance there, but he can't dance on the steps. Again, after climbing to the roof, you need no longer discard what you discarded before. you find that the stairs are made of the same materials, bricks, lime and brick dust, as the roof. The woman you have to be so careful about at the beginning will appear to you after the realization of God as the Divine Mother herself. Then you will worship her as the Divine Mother. You won't fear her so much. The thing is to touch the granny as children do in the game of hide and seek. Then you can do whatever you like. Man looking outward sees the gross. At the time his mind dwells in the Annamaya Kosha, the gross body. Next is the subtle body. Functioning through the subtle body, the mind dwells in the Manomaya Kosha and the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Next is the causal body. Functioning through the causal body, the mind enjoys bliss. It dwells in the Anandamaya Kosha. This corresponds to the semi-conscious state experienced by Chaitanya. Last of all, the mind loses itself in the great cause. It disappears, merges in the great cause. What one experiences after that cannot be described in words. In his inmost state of consciousness, Chaitanya enjoyed the experience. Do you know what this state is like? Dayananda described it by saying, "Come into the inner apartments and shut the door. Anyone and everyone cannot enter that part of the house." I used to meditate on the flame of a light. I thought of the red part as a gross, the white part thinking you are an inert thing. We shall stop here. So any questions you are welcome to ask. Has got any question or comments, anything? The point is, the first stage is you must have initial aspiration for the realization of the truth. That's the first step required. So that should be strong enough for you to explore what are the ways. Then you have to watch your temperament. And according to temperament, you have to choose the path. The broad classification is, one is path of knowledge and another is path of devotion. They are broad classification. But then, what are your resources as a person? What you have, with that resource only you have to start. And so you have to find out your capability and how you would be able to take up the life. And this process becomes easy when you come in contact with a holy person. And he will be able to guide in a proper way, studying your temperament. Look, this is the way I suggest you will go better. And to start that spiritual life, you require inspiration. Inspiration is required. And you must feel assured that by taking this path, you will certainly reach the goal. That assurance should be there. Then only you will be tempted to take up the path and go onward in your spiritual life. To get that inspiration, you must come to incarnation. Incarnation is the highest opportunity for us to grasp the divine truth. Otherwise, it's a story. How to know whether there is God or not, how to know the reality. It may be simply talking, but is there anyone who has seen God? The question will come like that. But Sri Ramakrishna has shown, yes. Why do you think it's a myth? It's a reality. I have seen God. You can also see God. I have talked with God as I am talking to you. So, like that, he is trying to establish a relationship with the individual being and the Supreme Being. So, when you are trying to objectify God and see you can communicate with God, you can talk with God, in that process, Sri Ramakrishna is suggesting the path of devotion. Because in the path of devotion, you can experience that joy in your, as a being, as an individual being, not losing your body-mind consciousness. You can have that joy of seeing God, and you will have that immense satisfaction of arriving at the truth. And finally, if you aspire more, then God Himself will provide you to have the highest experience of reality. But then some people, once they see the divine form of God, once they come face to face with the reality, they come to the final stop. Well, I have reached this state, I don't want anything else. I want nothing. He is just satisfied. He thinks he is completely fulfilled. He doesn't want anything, but he just wants to merge himself with the form. Just like wave joining the ocean. Before joining, the wave makes a dance. It dances. It makes ripples and moves ups and downs, etc. But once it joins the ocean, it is no more a wave. So like that, we are all individual beings, we are all like waves. As long as we retain our individuality, we are all waves. But when you go and join the ocean, that individuality goes away. That individuality exists because of the mind. The mind exists because of the desires. You want this, you want that. In order to satisfy your desires, you create your body. You want this body, you want that body, you want to enjoy this one, you want to enjoy that one, like that, like that. And then you are fed up with the game, then you kick off the game and go. Like that. Any more question? Let me stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its curve to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are Thy names, O Lord, in each and every name Thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of Thy name. So vast is Thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to Thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue. The playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrated thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous reign tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.